what 2016 is going to be for you? Ooh, that was really a mumble I heard. Do you have a clear vision? Do you know that Proverbs 28:19, where there is no vision, the people perish. Have you ever heard that one? Where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy he is. Sounds a little bit like Yoda speaking there, but do you get the idea? Why is it that people perish if they have no vision? Basically, human beings are like sheep scattering with no shepherd. They'll be all over the place. They'll be fragmented. But vision brings the human mind and neurophysiology into alignment and becomes a power in and of itself. I'd like to give you a demonstration of this. I've asked John to help out. This is a pen. I'm going to push this pen through this piece of paper. It's the flat side of it. Hold on. Okay. Now, I'll try the point side of it. You got it? Now, the first one took quite a bit of energy and made quite a mess. Did you see that? The second one, very little energy, makes a nice clean hole through the paper. Both are examples of getting through that barrier, getting through that paper. But what's the difference that makes a difference? A thought is a power in and of itself if that power is focused on what it is you're truly desiring to create. So imagine we're past 2016. We're on the other side of it. What was the ideal future that you had envisioned today that's come to pass? If you're on the other side of 2016, the ideal future that you had envisioned back here in these first few days of the year came to pass, what is it that occurred? If you can bring that into your consciousness as a vision for the future, let's call that, on a scale of 1 to 10, let's call that ideal future a 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 is you've already completed it, it's already done, you're living into it, it's fully expressed. A 1 is you haven't even thought of it yet. Now imagine any point during this year you could ask yourself, where am I on the scale of 1 to 10? So let's say today you've got a clear vision of what it is, so you're more than 1, you might be at a 2 or 3. Now anytime during the year when I call you up on the phone, I'll say, where are you on that scale of 1 to 10? You can give me a number. And if you say, well, I'm at a 3 today, or if you say, I'm at an 8 today, in either case, the next question I ask you will be the same question. The question is, why so high and not lower? This is really an important question. See, if you say, well, I'm at a 3, most people would, in hearing that, say, only a 3? Why so low? And what are you going to come up with in answer to the question, why so low? You're going to come up with, well, I really haven't had a lot of time. You know, things have gotten in the way financially. I'm not getting the support I need. You know, I'm so busy with other priorities. Excuse, barriers, blockage. Do you get it? But if I say, oh, you're at a 3, why so high and not lower? What kind of answer are you going to come up with? All the stuff that's working, right? Well, I've got this going on, and I see these possibilities. When I started out my business, I I had this vision of what it was that I was going to create. It's really clear in my mind. And my business partner and I had a colleague who was advising us. He said, well, how's it going? He said, oh, we've got these great visions, these great plans. He said, great. Well, all right, I'll check in with you in a couple of months and see how you're doing. Came back in 3 months. How are you doing? We haven't gotten there yet. He said, maybe you guys ought to go get a real job. I mean, you're talented people. Why don't you go get a job so you can support yourself, employ yourself, right? He said, oh, no. We really got this dialed in. We know what we're going to be able to create. We're going to be able to do this. It's going to happen. All right, I'll check in 3 months, right? And this happened time after time after time, and eventually we did get there. We got to where we were going. But it's because we were focusing on the resources we had in place that were inspiring us to take that next step. And this is the next question that comes. On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? Well, I'm at a 3. Why so high and not lower? Because all these good things. Then the next question is this. What's one thing that you could do today that would move you 1 step up the scale, from a 3 to a 4, or from a 7 to a 7.5 or an 8? And when you have this kind of a mindset, it's called a solutions focus. It's a mindset that's continually positioning your thinking in relation to what it is you're desiring to create. So you're always on track. And many times throughout my life, I didn't necessarily know what my life purpose was, but I knew I was on it, whatever it was. There was never any doubt that I was on the right track to what it is that ultimately would be my life's full expression. Can you get to that place in you for 2016? This is very different than what are your New Year's resolution. A clear mind means a bright future because it becomes a power in and of itself. So what is it that you truly desire to create for 2016? What is it that you're choosing to bring full into manifestation? Because very often what we can do is we can be very clear about what are the next few steps that we can take to get where we want to go. We can probably say, yeah, I can do this, that, or the other thing, and I can probably move the game forward. But to get to that far point, that end result that I really want to get to, I don't know step 27 or 28. And a lot of people right at that moment will disqualify themselves from taking the next few steps because they don't know what step 27 is going to be. Good news is you don't need to know it. All you need to know is what are these next few steps. The problem is when we get up to the threshold of our not knowing, what the mind tends to do is bring up all the doubts, fears, worries, and concerns. What's going to happen here? You're stepping beyond the known and you're stepping into the unknown. So mind, the human mind, is a protection mechanism to keep you alive. It actually knows to do everything it can to stop you at that threshold. It's like a guardian at the gate, a guardian at the threshold saying, none shall pass. Bad things could happen out here. And what it does is it dredges up from your history all of the failures, all the wounds, all the hurts, all the times you screwed up, every time you didn't get what you really needed from others. It throws it in front of you and says, look, this could happen out there. These bad things from your history could happen in front of you. And so researchers have called it the immunity to change. We have a guardian that has 3 different voices of these guardian presences protecting us. The guardian of the open mind is the one that uses judgment, the voice of judgment. Stops us at the threshold and judges your past performance and projects it forward and says, do you think really, based on that, you're going to be able to do this? I don't think so. You better just stop right there. This is what we know. The other voice, the other guardian, is the guardian of the open heart. It's the voice of cynicism. It's all of those people in your life who have said, oh, I've tried that sort of thing. That's never going to work. And when you gave up on your dreams, you took on that voice. So when others came up to you to say, guess what I'm thinking of doing? You say, oh, I once had that belief myself. That's not going to happen. It's the voice of the cynic. The cynic is the broken-hearted idealist. So the voice of cynicism stops us at that threshold. And the third voice is the voice of fear. That's the guardian of the open will. The voice of fear says, you're not safe. You can't trust people. We don't know what's going to happen in the economy. Bad things, unmentionably bad things could occur. I don't know what they are, but they could really happen. And so the guardian of the open mind, the guardian of the open heart, and the guardian of the open will stand there at the threshold actually just to check you. Because they really want to know, are you willing to step towards your ideal future, even though there's uncertainty that lies ahead? Now, some people can take the step because it's a step of faith, it's a leap of belief that this is something that they're going to be able to do. But for other people, it becomes a calculation based on a careful analysis of the strengths and the resources that they have at their disposal. Instead of disqualifying themselves, they grow in their ability to take that next step. And what's remarkable about the way Spirit works is unless you take the step, you don't have the power to take the step. Very odd thing. You know, it's like going up to a fireplace and saying, I am so cold, give me some heat. And it says, oh, give me some wood. I'm happy to give you heat, but you gotta give me some wood for, no, look, I'm freezing. Give me some heat, then I'll be warm enough to give you some wood. Doesn't work that way, right? So unless we take that step, the universe can't come up and hold us up to take that next step. And so I'm going to invite you to recognize those threshold moments throughout this year. Those moments when you're at the threshold of the known and you're stepping into the abyss, the unknown. Realizing the mind is going to have a tendency to throw limitations in front of you. It's not there to stop you as much to test your willingness to go deeper. Now, if you would take the time to be still, to be quiet, you'll come to recognize those gifts. The fears of the mind, you're not the mind. You're not the thoughts. The fears of the emotions, you're not your emotions. You're not your feelings. You're more than that. The fears of the body, tensions that you have, you're not the body. You're more than that. So in those quiet moments when you center in, you can come in contact with an infinite resource. Because what's written on your heart and your mind to do in this lifetime is yours to do. Nothing more, nothing less. It's yours to do. A New Year's resolution is a doing thing, but a vision is a being thing. It's not about doing to be more of a person, doing to be better in some way. It's about going into your life with this presence and power of your being to know that each step you take, even into the abyss, is going to be supported by an infinite level of resource that's available to you. So I would offer you two things to consider. One is in those quiet times of being present, you'll recognize that you're okay right now, and then now you're okay, you're safe. And this now experience is the same now experience you'll have wherever you are. So in that quiet, tune into that recognition that you're okay. Secondly, that you are loved, that you do belong, that you're on track, you're on purpose. And finally, that you are worthy, you are sufficient in every way to do what's yours to be done. God doesn't call the qualified, God qualifies the called, right? So it's what you're called to do in your life. God doesn't call the qualified, God qualifies the called. Gives you the resources you need to do what's yours to do. And what's yours to do, you know. It's written on your heart and mind to do. It's yours to do in this world. There's a wonderful exercise called the miracle question. I'd like to offer it to you right now. Let's say you finish this service and you go ahead and you live the rest of the day the way you would live this day, this Sunday. You enjoy it as you do. You see the Vikings win, or the Packers, sorry, I don't know which it is, but you see your game, your champions win, right? And you go to sleep, you go to bed, and while you're asleep, a miracle occurs. And the dream that you've dreamed, the wish that you've had, the problems that you faced are solved. It's complete. A miracle occurs, but you don't know it because you're asleep. What will be the first indication upon awakening tomorrow morning? What is it that you will see or hear or feel tomorrow morning that will let you know the miracle occurred? My invitation to you is to allow yourself to awaken each day, looking for the evidence that the miracle has occurred. With an open mind and an open heart and an open will, you are stepping into the full expression of who you are, and it's there for you. It's there for you to enjoy. It's a wonderful prayer by poet laureate of the Unity Movement, James Dillard Friedman. You know it? The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well. Remember that. Hold that in your heart and mind every day. God bless. Beautiful 2016. Thank you.